Well, hello. This is session 2 of the Algebra 1 MCAP practice test. I just want to show you that mrfieldmath.com. Go there, and it's right here. And then the videos are here too. So in the first video, I said you can Google it. Of course you can. But that is where everything is going to be. Nice, neat way. So let's see about this this section 2. I thought so. I have my calculator right here. I'm ready to go. Okay, and look at that. Right away, we're going to need to use the calculator. And I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that you may not know. Okay, so this is a scatter plot. We can see that if we were to draw a line, a line of best fit, it might be something like that. A line of best fit is a line that is close to all the data points on average, And so when we draw a line of best fit, so the fit is measured. So we could draw a line of best fit like that or like that. Maybe I'll change the color here. So if I drew a blue line like that, which line fits better, the red or the blue? I hope you're saying the red. The red shows the pattern better, so that will have a higher correlation coefficient. It's more correlated to more of the data. Correlation coefficient is a number between -1 and 1. So it's a decimal, like 0.8, 0.7. It's called the correlation coefficient. And it shows how well that line of best fit is. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to calculate, and we use our calculator to calculate it. So I'm going to clear that. And we are going to put in the data points. So in order to do that, you're going to need a TI 83 or 84. And you're going to, first of all, we're going to reset it. So second plus 7, 1, 2. That's second plus 7, 1, 2. Resetting my calculator. And now I'm going to press the stat button. See the stat button right there? And now I'm going to press the enter button. Enter. And now that brings up this list. Okay, so in L1, I'm going to put my X values. All right, so let's see. I have X values of 1, 1, 2, 3. So could put 1, enter, 1, enter, 2, enter, and see a populator like that. 3, and then this is 4, and then we have 2 5s, then we have the 6, then we have what is that, 7, then we have an 8 and 2 9s. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to arrow over to L2, and I'm going to enter the Y values that I see in that same order. So this is 36. This one is 31. And this one is, what is that, 32? I think it's 32. I'm estimating a little bit. Is this one 29? And then this one is 24. Then this one is 30. Then we have 24 and 24. 24, 24. And then we have, what is that? The 17. And then is this the 22? and then 21. And then right in the middle, I'm going to say 13. And then we know we're right because the L1s and L2s have the same amount. So now the correlation coefficient, what we do is we press stat and we go over to calc. So you can just rewind if you missed something. And then you see the lin reg there, lin reg. So I'm going to go down to 4, arrow down to 4 and press enter, and then press enter again. And it gives me the slope, and the y-intercept, but no correlation coefficient. So what we have to do is this one step thing. So we have to go to the catalog and its calculator and turn the diagnostics on. So I'm going to press second, and then I'm going to press 0. And then I'm just going to hold down that arrow button until I see diagnostics on. It's alphabetical. Getting close here. Diagnostics off, diagnostics on. Ha! Okay, sorry. Enter, enter. So now I'm going to run that linear regression again, and I'm going to see my correlation coefficient. Stat, arrow over to calc, down to 4, enter, enter. There it is, R of 0.88. So 0.88, and it's negative 0.88, which would round up to 0.9, right? That's closer to 0.9 than 0.8, even though it has 2 8s, closer to 0.9. So it's just some calculator work, and that's how you do that. All right. So a sequence, another question that my class did not get to. A sequence is defined by a sub n equals -5 plus n minus 1, 14, where n is a positive integer. What is the value of a10? So the value of a10 is equal to, so that just means we're going to substitute 10 in for n. So 5 plus 10 minus 1 times 14. I can use a calculator, so why not? -5 plus, well, that's 9 times 14, 121. So that's the value of the 10th term of the sequence. And all right, let me just, one thing. All right, let's just check the answer key, that's right. So we're good. Consider the equation ax minus a squared minus b equals 0, where a and b are both positive real numbers. Which statement about the solution or solutions to the equation must be true? So what is this? This is vertex form, right, of a quadratic. Okay, and so the equation has no real solutions. Well, that's not necessarily true. Oh, they're both positive real numbers. So what we can do is we can just, in order to make sense of this problem, since we know that the constraint is that a and b are positive real numbers, let's just give them a value. How about 1, and then we'll see what we think it would look like. This is one possibility. We could choose any number. So x minus 1 squared minus 1. So then that means it would be shifted down 1 and right 1. So we know that whatever numbers we put here, it would be shifted right and down. So it has 2 real solutions. So that's not right. No, There we go. Oh, and at least one of the solutions is positive. Well, we can't say that the, we cannot ensure that both the solutions are positive because it is possible to get one of the sides of the parabola to be in the third quadrant if it opened very wide or, something. And so D, but we know that on one side, it would have a positive solution. All right, let's go on to the next one. An office manager is ordering this year's supply of pencils and pens for the office. Each pencil costs 10 cents and each pen costs 75 cents. All right, so I saw this in the first section. So that I'm going to make that X and that Y. Already, that's what I'm thinking. And this is a coefficient. And this is a coefficient. The manager's total. So that is a value on the other side of the equal sign. So I'm just going to say that I can set up the equation like this based on the information I just read. This is a total cost equation. But now let's see what we need to find. Which additional piece of information is sufficient to determine the number of pencils and pens? Okay, so this is about cost, but we probably would need to know quantity, something about the quantity. So let's see which choice best fits that. So the number of pencils purchased last year will be equal to the number of pens purchased this year. X equals, well, I don't really know if it should both be from this year. The number of pens purchased this year will be 3 times the number. Oh, so this could work. So the number of pens purchased this year will be 3 times the number of pencils. So, and pens is Y, so that means 3Y is equal to X. So then we could take that 3Y and we could substitute it in for X. So I think B is going to work, but let's read the rest. The total cost, we already have cost information. So it is B. And we already have all the cost information we need. So we're looking for that quantity. Or a lot of times, they would say the total number of pencils and pens is, 200. And we would write X plus Y equals 200. But they didn't tell us that. But that is something we see a lot. And then that's your second equation. Okay, moving on. The system of equations shown is graphed on the XY plane. Determine the coordinates of the solution of the system algebraically. Then show your solution is valid. Show the work, explain, blah, 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 blah. All right, so we have to solve a system of equations. And first thing I ask myself is, what form are they in? They are both in standard form. So we're going to use elimination. Or the linear combination method, some people call it. So what I'm saying is if I multiply the top by -2, then my X coefficients would be opposites. So let's do that. So then the top equation becomes -2X minus 2Y equals -2. Rewrite the bottom equation. Positive 2X minus 3Y equals 17. And now we're just going to add them together. X's cancel. That makes -5Y. And this is 15 divided by -5. And we get Y equals -3. Now we're going to substitute in for X. So we know X plus Y equals 1. So X plus -3 equals 1. So x equals 1 plus 3, put that 3 over there, and 1 plus 3 is 4. So the answer is 4, negative 3. And show that our solution is valid, so we're gonna check. So we're gonna say 4 plus negative 3 equals 1. Yep. And then 2, I'm looking at those equations, 2 times 4 minus 3 times negative 3. Does that equal 17? 8 plus 9, yes. So it checks. All right, so solve the system using elimination and check your work. The table shows the distance in miles that an athlete will run each week up slope for 6 weeks to prepare for a half marathon. The equation y equals 3.25x plus 8.5 miles, the distance that the athlete will run in week X. Oh, all right. Okay, for which weeks is the number of miles given by the equation greater than the actual number of miles the athlete will run? Oh, okay. Okay, so the table is the equate for which weeks is the number of miles given by the equation greater than that. Oh, okay. So what we can do is we can take and just substitute our x values into the equation, these x values, and then make a third row in the table. Now I'm going to show you how to do that. Oh man, my batteries are low. Okay, so on the calculator, we press y equals, and then we substitute that in. So 3.25, and the x button is right here, and plus 8.5. So I type that into y equals. Now I'm going to press second graph, and check it out. It gives me all the values right away. So I can just write those down. 8, 11, oh no, it's not 8. 8 is for 0, but 1 is 11.75. 2 is 15, 18.25, 21.5, 24.75, and 28. So which weeks is it greater? It's greater on week 5. It's greater on week 3. And that's week 5 and week 3. E and C. Select all that apply. All right, so there you go. Using our calculator. The function f is defined by f of x equals x minus 5 squared minus 20. Vertex form again. Wow, that's good because the question about the range is really easy since we have vertex form. Let me just go ahead and graph this guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's down 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I could have counted by something besides ones, but whatever, I'm done. So the graph looks like this. And the range is how from the bottom to the top. So we see it goes up forever, but it has a bottom right down here at negative 20. So the range is in inequality form is y is greater than or equal to negative 20. So not positive 20, not 5. All real numbers greater than or equal to negative 20. I didn't need my calculator for that one. Ooh, 2 functions. All right, deep breath. 2 functions f and g are graphed in the xy plane. I see an absolute value function and a parabola. In which intervals do the solutions of the equation f of x equal to g of x exist? In other words, where do they intersect? So they do intersect right here and right here. So that's between -1 and 0 and between 4 and 5. So they intersect between -1 and 0 and between 4 and 5. G. So the answers are B and G. Really easy question as long as you know what it's talking about, right? A student read a 303-page book in 7 days. The table shows the total number of pages the student had read at the end of each day for 7 days. What was the average number of pages that the student read per day from the end of day 2 to the end of day 6? End of day 2 to the end of day 6. So the end of day 2 at the end of each day. Oh, okay. So I guess I'll just go from there to there, right? So the average number is going to be the slopes. So 227 minus 485 is my y values, and then 6 minus 2. That's 227. Why am I using my calculator for this? 182 over 4, 45.5. So that's C. I do have a question about this one. So let's check the answer key and just make sure that number 9 is C. Huh. We're right. Okay. Good stuff. Just finding the slope. And we're done with section 2. So I'll end this video now. Post it to MrFieldMath.com.